Margot Ballinger was having one of those days. She'd forgotten to pick up the cat food on the way home. Her new shoes had given her blisters. And to top it all, the meeting at Rickman Town Hall couldn't have gone any worse. As soon as Charles Houghton had shown up, oozing charm and sophistication, the mood had changed, people nodding as he calmly laid out Catton Development's plans for the construction of the new mall. What did a few old streets matter to their lives, particularly uninhabited streets that had been buried beneath the soil for a couple of centuries? Houghton had been so convincing, urging the audience to forget about this so-called archaeology, to focus instead on what the mall would bring to the town. A new food court, a department store, even a designer clothes outlet, like they needed one of those. Margot rubbed her aching feet and consoled herself that things could only get better. A package sat on the table before her, containing, she hoped, everything she needed to wipe the smirk from Houghton's face. The people would still get their mall. They'd just have to wait while the excavations took place first. She snatched the parcel up from the table and tore it open, tipping the contents out onto her knees. Frowning, she picked up the strange object, turning it over in her hands. It was a mottled stone, roughly the size of a baseball. What's more, it was crudely engraved with a series of unfamiliar symbols. Margot studied them for a moment, tracing them with her fingers, but had no idea what language they represented. Carefully, she placed the stone on the coffee table and felt inside the envelope for any accompanying note. There was nothing. Had this really come from the site? Tracy had said she'd try to sneak an artifact from the dig so that they could make a case, maybe even get a court order. But this? Margot didn't even have a notion of what it was. Perplexed, Margot padded through to the kitchen, where she'd placed the kettle on the stove to boil. Yawning, she reached for her cell. She'd give Tracy a call, see if she couldn't figure out what was going on. The lights in the apartment stuttered. Margot frowned. Some sort of electrical surge, as if the lights had blinked. There was a sound, too, from the living room, a creak on the floorboards. At first, she put it down to Biscuit, and then jumped as he circled her ankles, mewing for the food she'd forgotten to pick up earlier. The hairs on the nape of Margot's neck bristled. There was someone in her apartment. Nervously, she reached for the rolling pin from her utensil pot and hefted it in her fist. The lights were still blinking on and off, now with increasing rapidity. She swallowed and crept through to the living room. There was a figure, barely visible in the stuttering light, its face hidden behind cupped hands. Margot narrowed her eyes. Was it a woman? The intruder was silent and unmoving, and all the more unnerving because of it. Margot raised her rolling pin like a club. "If Charles Houghton sent you, you can tell him from me that scare tactics won't work. I'm not backing off." The silent figure didn't react. Then the lights stuttered again, and Margot screamed. In the kitchen, the kettle emitted a piercing whistle into the now empty apartment.